Welcome to my show, When Everyone Wins, where a key goal I have for you is shifting from power over and under to power within and between. I'm your host, Judy Ryan. In each episode, I'll share my knowledge from decades in workplace culture transformation and leadership development as the founder and CEO of LifeWorks Systems. I'll help you build trust and emotional and social intelligence. My show, When Everyone Wins, is about creating a life you love and helping others do the same. Welcome, everyone. I'm super excited about today's episode. The title is Separating Faith from Hate. There's so much hate in the world, and sadly, a lot of it has been justified in the name of and in the twisted use of religion. When this happens, people of faith often get confused, discouraged, shut down, or worse, they become adversarial with others. This is a travesty when they might otherwise co-create kind, caring, trustworthy, win-win collaboration with one another. When faith becomes interfaith partnership, each person approaches the holiness of their life and that of others by focusing on the common values and the common practices found in all faith communities. These include love, service, compassion, appreciation, and a belief in the divinity of every person. The world needs more of this, especially now. This is the time to make powerful choices to practice the best in spirituality and to be in partnership, interfaith partnership, where love predominates and unity is sacred. One of the objectives of When Everyone Wins has been to reach leaders of organizations of any size, personal or professional, that are hungry to learn about the value of adopting a healthy culture of win-win. Win-lose is still holding on with a death grip, and unfortunately, this is too often occurring around religious differences. Until people see and believe in faith that promotes real, visible love among faith communities, win-lose will remain a mainstream practice regarding religious institutions and systems. This episode is about a group called Interfaith Partnership of Greater St. Louis. They have created a coalition of over 35 faith, spiritual, and ethical traditions whose members deeply desire to live their faith in shared religious community. Their fellowship and recognition of the gifts and blessings within each tradition inspire their members to do more in the community alone and together because they're joining hands, getting to know one another, and supporting, honoring, and encouraging one another, all while finding common cause. So today my show is with a panel of a subset of just some of the members of the Interfaith Partnership of Greater St. Louis and how their coalition has helped each member and each faith group develop a deeper commitment to love. They are a visible model of sharing power, creating win-win, and developing deep understanding, acceptance, and appreciation of one another. This is not only a win-win for each person and each group in the Interfaith Partnership community, it's a shining beacon and a model of win-win that can inspire a better way forward for all of society, also all over the world. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought we might start by each of you sharing your name, and remember to just say it every time you answer, just in case we have this on audio later, and describe your faith tradition and why you're passionate about interfaith work. So who would like to go first? Or I can just call on you guys. How about Margaret Mary Moore?
Okay, well, here I am, and I'm a Roman Catholic. I'm also a theologian, and I just love our interfaith partnership because we learn from each other. And I was just going to say, like, normally I wouldn't walk into a Jewish temple or to a mosque all by myself. But in interfaith partnership, we invite each other into our places of work. We eat together, we pray together, we meet each other, and it's a wonderful way to learn the holiness of each tradition and to make friendships with each other. So I'm very grateful for Interfaith Partnership and for the people that started it out.
Great. Anything you want to say about your Catholic tradition that is a direct tie to Interfaith Partnership?
You know, in Catholic faith, we believe in the healing power and the transformation of Jesus Christ. And we believe in healing and active today, and that we are looking for a more peaceful world. We follow scripture, Hebrew scripture, and the New Testament as our holy books. And that gives us a moral compass with which we go forward to internalize the words of our scriptures and to live that out in our life, in community with each other. So we have access daily to a service to pray. We do get together every Sunday. And we have lots of opportunities to look inside ourselves, to conform ourselves with our holy books and our teachings, and also to look at where we need to change. So we don't have to apologize for our weaknesses or where we've gone wrong, but we need to stand up to the plate and acknowledge that we can change, we can do better, we can follow the example that Jesus has laid out for us, and also that other religions have laid out for us, that we make the world a better place, that we become a healing presence and a moral compass in our world.
Thank you so much, Margaret Mary. All right. How about Ramesh? Would you be willing to go next?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yeah,
Hello.
I come from Satya Sai Baba tradition in Hindu, and also I practice breath mindfulness meditation practitioner. I'm really grateful to be part of Interfaith group. So our Satya Sai Baba main tradition is to serve all, love all, which aligns to Interfaith group. So which emphasize selfless service, spiritual growth, and the unity of all faiths. So people of all faiths and religions unite under one roof in the name of peace, love, non-violence, truth, and right conduct. Through this tradition, I have learned to see the divine in every person and the importance of living with compassion, integrity, and mindfulness. So also my practices of Buddha CEO meditation complements this, providing practical tools to cultivate clarity, focus, and inner peace, which allows to me to bring these values into both my personal and professional life. So I'm passionate about interfaith work because it reflects essence of my spiritual practice, the understanding that while our expressions of faith may differ, the underlying principles of love, service, and mindfulness are universal. So interfaith dialogue and collaboration allow me to build the connect meaningfully, and also the witnessing how my meditation journey and shared spiritual practices bring together regardless of tradition and all faiths, and reinforces my belief that interfaith engagement is essential for fostering harmony, empathy, and collective well-being in our communities.
Gosh, from your lips to God's ears, all of you. So Carlotta, would you mind going next?
Sure, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. My name is Carlotta Burton, and I like to tease and say that I grew up in an interfaith family. I say that because my mom was Lutheran. I attended Lutheran schools. I was baptized and confirmed Lutheran, and my dad was a Baptist deacon at the church. However, I am currently a Baptist preacher's wife. So I am grounded in the religion of Baptist, missionary Baptists, where we believe we are a Bible-based believing congregation, where we believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And we also believe that in baptism through immersion in water, whereas in the Lutheran congregation when I grew up, I was sprinkled. I did later on change, and I was fully immersed in the water and baptized. So one of the reasons why the interfaith community is important to me is because it aligns with just being a leader in general. In order for you to be a leader, you have to work with many different people and backgrounds. And I think the interfaith community allows us to do that. And with that, I believe that every person carries their own sacredness, their own worth and wisdom that they bring to one another. As someone said earlier, I don't have any fear now of going into a synagogue or a Jewish community or around other denominations or church affiliates, because I feel like I'm part of that community where we all have a belief system where we we have more in common than we do differences, put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Carlotta.
Thank you.
Fee, would you like to go next?
Of course. Good morning to everyone. My name is Fee Motii. I'm a student of MTO Shah Maksudi School of Islamic Sufism. I've been a student for over 29 years. And through this, we have learned what Sufism is about, is to concentrate on your spiritual layer of your life and finding out of who you are and connecting yourself to the divine and finding out the absolute knowledge, which is the true divine. Through this, we're not only concentrating on our own person and learning and disciplinizing ourselves to make sure we are a better person, we're also trying to finding out ways to get into the community and show our gratitude and work and unity with everyone else. And that is really important to us. So our MTO Shah Maksudi is a globalized congregation. It's a globalized place. We have over 50 centers all over the world. We have over 1 million people are looking at our sessions every Sunday. And also many other peoples are looking at helping us through our sustainability, charity, and also our tamarkos. So our tamarkos is sessions are the concentration session and meditation. We inviting everyone to come every Wednesday to our place and going through deep breathing classes and finding out to distress themselves of the way we are teaching them. And those ways are the way of doing a lot of visualization, meditation, concentration, and go deep breathing. And they teach us how to deep breathe and distress ourselves through all these places that we go, all the things, it happens around us, especially the way Judy says, the world is becoming so harsh toward everyone. And we're trying to bring that unity and equality to everyone. So that's one of the things that we do. As far as being involved in Interfaith Partnership, I am so pleased that I found a place that we can introduce ourselves and making sure that people know about us. I don't think anybody's trying to attract people to become their member. I think that the purpose is to introduce ourselves to each other and making sure that people are the same way. They practicing the same God, Allah, God, Lord, whoever we name. But at least the thing is that we are doing same spiritual, same kind of different ritual, but our point and our purpose is to get to know and be saved by Allah, or whatever we believe in. Like Miss Carlotta says, that our thing is, our goal is basically we are doing the same thing. We have the same point. Let's just be together and practice it, and don't be afraid of each other. Let's just learn about each other. Compassion is the first thing has happened in our lives. The first thing God has put it in our heart, which our heart is the very first organ to develop, is the compassion. And that compassion comes through God. And this is the way we have to spread it out throughout the community and making sure people are the same, they're equal, and we have to be respectful to each other, making sure people are gathering, putting their effort for each other's benefit. Thank you.
Fee, thank you so much. And so far, and I know there's probably going to be more of this, I hear this theme of compassion and unity and how important it is to de-stress. I love the de-stress because so many people are so distressed and stressed. And if community, when it's at its best, is a calming, a reassuring, an encouraging thing. So thank you all so far. David, would you care to go next?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone. And thanks, Judy, for having us on this show, and good to see everyone. My name is David Cohen. I'm the executive director of the Jewish Community Relations Council here in St. Louis. My organization represents Jewish communities all over the United States. And I guess briefly what I'll say in terms of what that means, we are generally an organization that's made up of, in St. Louis, it's maybe 35 different Jewish agencies or synagogues. And I say that, as I'm sure others can relate to, we're a diverse community with a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different ways of practicing the faith of Judaism and the culture of being a Jewish person. And so when I go into meetings and I'm on shows like this, I try to, as best I can, represent that vast diversity within our own community. But in a nutshell, what I think ties us all together, as many of you know, we follow the Old Testament, and I think there's three concepts that really do bind us together. It's these three obligations we have in the world in regard to our text and our tradition. One of them is to study the laws that have been handed down in our history. Two is what's called gimilut chasadim in Hebrew, which is acts of loving kindness. And the third is worship. When we attend synagogue, when we pray in our home, I think many people would say those are three things we can all agree on that, yeah, that's us. What I also would say is that how each of us practices those three different elements, that's kind of, I think, what makes us both wonderfully diverse and I'll just say different. Because, for example, Shabbat, our Friday night into Saturday, is huge in our tradition, and I would say the things that make it what it is this idea to find the holiness in life, to try to find that sanctification, the things that are just so special. You want to spend that time with yourself and God. And I'll say it because I love doing everything I do during the week, but what's called the mundane things, the things that I'd say take us further away from holiness and the unity you talk about. The last thing I'll say is the focus on each of those in the modern day is also different. There's a concept you may have heard of called tikkun olam, which in a sense is healing the world. And I would say people that focus on that acts of loving kindness part, that's in the modern day how we try to bring holiness into the world. These acts, every act of kindness heals the world in some small way. And I think that's also where I'll lead into what I think is special about interfaith relationships, interfaith partnership. First of all, let's agree, it's a coalition of the willing. There's wonderful people that I have the privilege of working with every day that want to bring more love into the world and less conflict. And I know in each of our faiths and traditions, not everyone's like that. And I tell this to Mary all the time. That's why I love coming to these meetings. That's why I love doing this work, because I'm surrounded by people that even in times of disagreement, try to focus on the love. How can I have a conversation with love and curiosity as opposed to assumptions and something harsher? And I think when you're around people like that, you can do a lot of good work. You can make a lot of change in the world. And I'll just also add, I love the people that are talking about centering and meditation. I tell people all the time, I love language. Tefillah in Hebrew is our term for worship. It is also translated as meditation. There is this concept that prayer and finding yourself with God is about centering yourself, about meditating, either on the past week, the day, or just peace. So that's a little bit about our community, and that's why I love the work and the effort that I get to do with interfaith partners like yourselves.
Thank you so much, David. I love it that you talked about willingness and that you talked about bringing love. And it made me think of Marianne Williamson, who's also Jewish, that talked about we're either choosing love or fear. And so this is a group willing to choose love over fear. So thank you. Billy, would you be willing to go next?
Yes. And thank you for this opportunity to be here with you, family. I am a Baha'i, and I have been a Baha'i for close to 50 years. And I can truthfully say that when I first was exposed to the Baha'i faith, there was an instantaneous connection, and it felt like I had come home. And so I'd like to share that when I felt like I had come home, the thought was, oh, I have found a faith that fits my life, and actually didn't realize that my life would fit the faith. Slowly and surely, every day, there's a saying, come, Baruz, that we become a Baha'i a little bit more each day as we adopt the principles and practice the principles of those that were enunciated by Baha'u'llah. And the pivotal principle, I think, all that everything revolves around, it's almost like the covenant of the faith, is the oneness of humanity. Now, that's to me is a statement that embodies so much more than even I realize now, because I think it has depth, such depth to it. And to actually live from that perspective of every day, I am, I have the bounty and the opportunity to interact with others in such a way that we create this love and this unity above us, and we don't see each other as strangers. We
Mhm.
see each other as truly brothers and sisters. And if I can step that even beyond that, it's like I am you and you are me. You are my sister, but even beyond that, I am you and you are me. And so my life has been enriched by following the principles of the faith, realizing how connected we are, that we're like one soul in many bodies. And to the degree that I can see the nobleness and the godliness in each person that I meet, will I be able to continue to grow? There is a saying in our faith of there being a twofold moral purpose for us, and that is for us to continue to grow towards God, and to create an environment where other people can grow as well.
Mhm.
The interfaith partnership connection that I have allows me to act out, to live out that principle, and to develop very close relationships, endearing relationships with other people of the interfaith community. And so, we can move from, I would say, conversation to action, and from action to creating these vibrant, loving communities. That, if I can quote a saying from the Universal House of Justice, which is the governing component of our faith, unless we come together in a spirit of consultation, in a spirit of consultative will, we will annihilate ourselves. And so
Mhm.
the faith, the interfaith partnership presents a path for us to deeply connect, to work arm in arm and in serried line, so that there is no space between us as we lock our arms, arm in arm, and move forward on this path of building unity and love and compassion for one another.
Thank you so much, Billy. And that image right now is so powerful that I think this is just such an incredibly important episode. Mary, I've saved you for last so that you can tell us a little bit about your faith and also about Interfaith Partnership because of your position and role within the organization.
Sure, thank you. So my name is Mary Peterson, and I actually am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Just as our name bears, we follow Jesus Christ, but we do so in a little unique way. We believe that we're a restorative religion. In fact, we believe that all things, such as prophets and apostles of old, have been restored, and that we are led by them today. We believe in the Bible as the Word of God, but we also believe in the Book of Mormon and the Doctrine and Covenants as our sacred text, as well as continuing revelation from the prophets and apostles that we have today. So if you guys think you have a lot to study, oh my goodness. David and I have a lot to study because he studies the Midrash and the Mishnah and the Gemara, and that's the same way for us. It just keeps going on and on, all the things that you can study that coincide with the original sacred text. The greatest blessing of being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is one of our articles of faith reads that we believe, we claim the privilege of worshiping God according to our own dictates and our own conscience, but then we allow all mankind that same privilege. Let them worship how, where, and what they may. And I try really hard to live my life in that. I've been blessed to have received a degree in religious studies. And so I have this ability to learn and know a little bit more about all faith traditions, from Native American to paganism and Wicca even, and to all the Western Abrahamic traditions and the Eastern traditions as well. It's been quite a journey. I started out as a volunteer at Interfaith Partnership in 1997, served on their board of directors for 10 years, and this is my third time employed. The first 2 times I was just in transition to help them out, but now I've been there for almost 3 years, and it's been a great journey to represent Interfaith Partnership and help lead these beautiful people in trying to build peace in this world.
Awesome. So this is a little bit like, feels a little bit like heaven on earth right here, right now, where people are respectful of differences and even appreciative of differences. And I very much appreciate all of you being here today and being part of this model. Mary, to just continue with you, can you state the purpose or mission and any of the core values and visions of the Interfaith Partnership of St. Louis, of Greater St. Louis?
Sure. So we're going on 41 years of existence, first of all. It was started out by a small group of faith leaders that felt that they could do more in the community if the traditions united rather than tried to stay separate, that they could solve more problems than they could if they were trying to do them alone. And although our initiatives have changed, like for example, there was a time where we focused on hunger, and all faiths collected food regularly to donate to those suffering from food insecurity. Or there was also a time when there was a greater emphasis on doing service projects together in underserved communities. So our efforts have always brought much understanding and appreciation despite our religious difference, whether that be through service or through dialogue or through our celebrations. And then our big thing that we're trying to focus on now is being able to offer religious diversity training in the workplace so that all people feel valued and comfortable and can thrive in their job, but also in the community. So our mission is to deepen understanding, respect, and appreciation for among all persons across line of religious difference. And our motto states, as communities of faith, we accept that we may differ, we promise to love, and we unite to serve. And I think all of our panel members have stated that in some way today.
I love it. It's people are more important than beliefs, in a sense. You know, who you are as a figurehead of God is more important than what you have in your own mind sometimes, or where we disagree. That is so beautiful, and so much of a mission that will actually, you know, I've been reading about what's going on astrologically right now, and they say we're moving into the age of Aquarius, you know, and that's all about community, and it's all about love, and it's all about finding a way to let go of the old systems. And this is a really great example of what it could look like. So Mary, just a few more questions of you, or anyone that can answer this, is what is the size of this? And is it growing? And is it a nationwide movement? Is it only here in St. Louis? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So the interfaith movement is a global movement. just people have smaller nonprofits that are organized in their area. And if you really want to develop relationships locally, then you need to have your organization be local. But there's the Parliament of World Religions that does focus on global efforts. And I sit on a panel for the whole state of Missouri that represents safety within our faith traditions. And I sit on there with the safety director for the JCRC and then very other faiths who are targeted for hate crimes more so than others. But the movement, I think we are growing. I get new members every day that say, I want to be part of you, new followers on our social media platforms. But it's not a huge where we have 100 people a day. It's more like 1 or 2 a day that are growing.
So far, Mary.
Yeah, so far.
Right.
Because I think people are hungry for this. They just may not know you're there. And that's another good reason to let them know.
It's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah. And you also are giving an example of how you personally have wanted to extend further into the more worldwide perspective on this, in addition to the local interfaith work you're doing. So, which leads me to ask the rest of you. And please raise your hand if you can find that little thing or raise your hand on the screen, and I'll make sure I call on you so you don't feel like you're talking over each other. But what are some of the ways that this has personally impacted you, your faith, your work in your personal and professional life? If you have any stories or examples of how this has helped you, I would love to hear that. Oops, hold on a second. Let me make sure I can see. Oh, Margaret Mary, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I would just like to say, in terms of what our Catholic faith is doing, right now in our Catholic colleges and universities, even in our high schools, we have a basic course in world religions because we're teaching respect and knowledge and history and background. So I think that's a real step forward from before we just immigrant church and have barriers to each other. And even in high school now, we are having probably, I don't know if it's sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Certainly every freshman in a Catholic college and university is taking a world religions. And I think that gives us a compassion and see that we're not alone, that we're all doing this together. And I think one of the things for me when I was studying Judaism, to find out so many times in Hebrew scripture saying that we must take care of the widow, the orphan, and the stranger. Over and over and over again. And in these days in the United States and around the world, that is like a key element that we need to put front and center, because sometimes we are not following what God is asking us to do and taking care of the widow, the orphan, and the stranger. So there's just so many different ways that we learn, like even being with Billy and Baha'i, the beautiful prayers and the way they pray have just been really edifying for me. I just love it. And so I think from each religion, our group where we've been together, we've been hosted at mosques and at Protestant churches, Catholic, Hindu temples. It's just been a wonderful experience to see how we're all searching for the divine to transform our own lives so that we become more powerful. Other thing that I see in our society and around the world is fear and cowardice, that we're not willing to stand up to the plate when we see other people suffering. And I think when evil is so strong in so many places, it takes courage beyond what our humanness is able to do. And we need a touching with the divine and the grace of God and our higher power to give us the faith to confront evil, to confront suffering, to confront corruption, and to stand, to be the tikkun olam, to be there for each other, for the people that are suffering around the world. So I'm very grateful to everyone's path in life. And it certainly have enriched me to know all of you and to know your the path of life that you've chosen and that you practice.
You know, Margaret Mary, I just have to acknowledge you for I met you through Interfaith Partnership, and how you have been going to Rome and interacting with, the papal community and what's happening on the global scale around these things, and including your work with youth of sexual abuse and things like that are healing some of the challenges that have been brought through quote unquote faith that need to be corrected and restored through faith. And I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Thank you.
So, who would like to go next on that question of where this has personally impacted you, how this has made a difference, how this has helped you to maybe extend yourself further in courage, or any way that you'd like to express it? Ramesh?
Yes. Yeah, as Mary said, the vision and mission of Interfaith aligns our Satya Sai Baba tradition, and also the Buddha Siva Quantum Foundation breath mindfulness meditation vision and mission is to spread this peace to the world with all. So the Interfaith partnership has profoundly shaped my both personal and professional life. So personally, it has deepened my appreciation for the great values such as compassion, understanding, and service, so which transcended any single faith tradition. So being part of this initiative has strengthened my own, spiritual practice within the Satya Sai Baba community and reinforced my commitment to the Buddha Siva Quantum Foundation meditation to as both emphasized inner growth, mindfulness, and service to others. It helps to spread spirituality and mindful meditation to everybody. And professionally, the partnership has taught me that the importance of collaboration across diverse perspectives. Working with people from different faiths has improved my ability to communicate, emphasize, and build inclusive environments. So skills that extend into my work as a software engineer. And I work at Edward Jones. So we have the PRG interfaith group where we meet all the employees different from the different faiths. And one example that stand out for me we recently conducted World Meditation Day on December 21st. That is the main tag is One Breath, One World. So that aligns to interfaith mission and vision and mission. So I thought Interfaith Partnership is the best initiative to organize community, and also we, along with the meditation involving with the different groups. So when I observed individually, initially hesitate to share the space and dialogue with others, gradually opening up to listen and connect. So the experience demonstrated how interfaith work can dissolve misconceptions and create genuine unity. It reminded me that despite of differing religious expressions, the core values of love, service, and mindfulness resonate universally. Thank you.
Gosh, Ramesh, it's so beautiful. It sounds like you've brought interfaith all the way into your workplace, and oh my goodness, if every workplace could do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Who would like to go next?
I can go.
Okay.
Fee.
Go ahead, Fee, and then Carlotta will have you go next.
Okay.
All right. Traditionally, we have grown up being closed and knowing that our faith is the best and nothing else. And that is wrong. To me, we have the best faith, but what interfaith brought to us, it opened up the doors to listen to everyone else. And finding out that it's not, it is not, everyone's saying the same thing in a different way, in a different, and that awareness, it's really, really huge. People don't think that how huge can impact their lives, because the fear is going to be gone. The more openness is going to happen to that person, and more search, like you wanted to know more. What else? What kind of a common idea or area that I could get that I can feel comfortable around someone who has a different faith? And that has been really huge. Throughout these 40 years that has been going on through St. Louis, this has kind of, I feel like it has established its own purpose. But I believe this needs to go further out and bring more community agreement and services together, like different faiths put their hands together and do something that is outstanding for the community, do something like it shows the uniqueness of this group, and it brings more of the value. Not only it's going to attract many other people, but also it's going to attract our younger generation. What we have noticed in the past is our younger generation are no longer want to come to churches or Hanukkah or to go to temples, church, whatever places they go. They are computerized kids. They are going to do whatever they think, and they think they can learn everything through the computer or the social media. That's not true. We need to have that emphasize for the younger generation so that our faith, it does not fade away somehow. So I think the more service we do together, it's going to attract more, and we can ask our kids to come and help us, to be with us, even if we just need to keep repeating it and don't leave them on their own. And that's what it is that I'm looking forward for the next decade from Interfaith and the other things that we could accomplish.
Thank you. Three things that I really heard in what you were saying is that you were originally in your faith, and I know that was true in my faith because I was raised Catholic, and it was, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm good, you're bad, I win, you lose. It's definitely not win-win. And it's all that division that I think has turned people away. So you've talked about people turning away from the faith community because it's so divisive in many instances. And the idea of expanding all of this beyond even here is so powerful because it will draw people back to the loving, the excellent, the intention of faith community. And so that paints a beautiful picture for me to hold of youth wanting to go to different faith communities because of that equity. So
Yes.
Carlotta, I know you wanted to go next.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, I've been in church all of my life. As I shared, I grew up in the Lutheran congregation, attended Lutheran schools, graduated from Lutheran schools, and I'm now a Baptist church member and married to a Baptist preacher. And one thing I learned through all of this is that Interfaith Partnership has allowed me to just understand community better. I've worked in the nonprofit world. I've worked in the nonprofit world now. And it's helped me to understand the community, that community problems need community, requires community solutions. So what I mean by that is no single church, no one church congregation, no one faith tradition, no one nonprofit organization, or leader can solve everything. They can't solve all the problems. And we learned that early on when my husband became a pastor of New Northside. We're located in a city near Goodfellow and McLaren, and we had an arsonist attack on our church. This was right after Ferguson. And, when we heard about it, we, sadly, we were like, oh, of course, who would do something like this? But what we found out, unfortunately, I was a Black man who was targeting churches in the community because he had a bad experience in churches, in the Black church. But not only that, he had a mental health issue. But with that, we were able to, churches came to us from all around the city, starting with the Jewish congregation. I would have never thought that, we would be collaborating with the Jewish congregation at a Baptist church. And they were one of the first churches that came to us to ask us if we needed help, with what was going on with the church. So I just wanted to say that it really has helped me to understand community better. And it allowed me to know that no one church has all the answers. It takes community. And I can't stress enough, I say better together, but it really is true. We are better together because when we come together as one, we're able to help people in many different facets and capacities that we never thought of. And through that, we're able to learn more about other people, other organizations, other denominations, and of course, more about interfaith partnership. So I just wanted to say that interfaith partnership has helped me to understand that community problems require community solutions. And through interfaith partnership, that's what you will get.
Carlotta, there's community and then there's community. And real deep community is when you're in trouble and people that you don't expect are going to come and help you.
Yep.
And it's such a beautiful example of the extension into our entire world, whether it's helping somebody with a mental health crisis or a crime. And what's interesting is in my work, we call it putting everybody in the same boat, because even if it looks like person A and B are at each other, person C is also part of that, even though just because we're all a community together and we all are affecting each other. So beautiful stories. Who would like to go next on this? David.
Yeah, thanks, Carlotta, for that. I think you definitely tapped into something that I want to speak about. And from the beginning, Judy and Mary, you both talked a little bit about understanding, but also fear. And one of the things that I found valuable about interfaith work, about the partnership, look, in the Jewish community, and others face this as well, we're about 2% of the population. Unless you're watching the news, and that might not be a good thing, nobody really has us on the top of their mind every day. So, like, a big part of my work and a big part of our work is how can we help other communities understand us better, because we believe there's a lot of misperceptions about who a Jewish person is, what a Jewish person looks like. And I know a lot of us face that. In fact, that's a premise for life right now, misunderstandings about the other. So the reason I wanted to say that is because, we've had to, over decades and centuries, build up this muscle of helping other communities understand us so that there isn't fear, so that there isn't misunderstanding. And I would say I've worked in a number of different cities, and in some cities, you have a muscle like the Interfaith Partnership that has built in some normalcy around that practice. In other communities, that's not there.
Yeah.
So, for example, we host an interfaith Seder every year as part of the Jewish community for this very purpose. Come join with us in a part of our ritual, but it's based on learning about us and us welcoming you into our home. In other communities, that is a, oh my God, mind-blowing concept that you'd want to gather with other people of other faiths. And why would you even do that? So I have to thank groups like this for leaning into that work that is so productive. And I'll just say also, I think it was mentioned, we need more. And I think that's our goals and objectives. We do this, and I'm seeing it in my own work. I just arrived in St. Louis about a year ago. We've been doing things for 40 years at a certain level. And I think I'm looking for ways to build and have more people exposed to this practice of getting to know the other. And as Carlotta said, there's just basic, I don't know. That's an interesting concept of a synagogue reaching out to us. But then there's real fear and suspicion. So when things happen that are not great, like what Carlotta expressed, or in the fall we had some tragic national events, and things happen every day. To be able to have a network that Interfaith Partnership and other work that we do brings us into contact every day, that we can pick up a phone and say, hey, I saw this happen and I just wanted to say, I'm feeling for you right now, and how can I help? And then that comes back to you. And I think a lot of us in our communities don't know that happens, don't know that there's people out there that are just looking to support you in a time of need. And I think in a lot of my work, I use this as evidence. I go to my community who is fearful and suspicious also. And I say to them, no, let me show you, let me explain to you that there's people out there that do care about you, that are reaching out, that are looking to help you in your time of need. And you know what? You're also going to get so enriched and rewarded when you join me and reach out to someone else who's in need. And I think for me, that's the back and forth of this work that you asked, Judy, what's personally gratifying about this? It's when I can bring people into contact to that world, then when I get that call from someone, and even like what Carlotta said, and I've gotten that just recently, where someone said to me, oh my God, like I can't believe you reached out to me. You just met me a couple times and you reached out because you thought I was in need. And I said, yeah, because that's what we do. So I thank you all for being a part of that work and those efforts.
David, I love it. My company was originally called Expanding Human Potential. That's my company's, but I renamed it LifeWorks Systems because a systemic change in the world is a scalable change. And what I hear you saying is you want bigger so we can scale love, so we can scale support, because when you have more hands, it makes work light, easy. And also it reminded me of when Billy said, you are me and I am you. Why wouldn't I? Maybe I don't know you, but I do know you because I am you and you are me. So thank you, David. That was beautiful. Who would like to go next on that question?
Well, I would like to add something about it. Well, Billy, you go first because I already talked. Go ahead.
Well, and I'm probably going to repeat what I said earlier, and that is that we have the opportunity to build these wonderful, intimate relationships with one another. And simultaneously, through building of the relationships, we can drop the stereotypes that we have heard or learned about who we are. We've been socialized with all of these narratives about different faith beliefs. And once we have the opportunity to have close interaction with others, we realize that those were fraught with negativity and they were really untrue. It also helps me on a very personal level. And I'm echoing a tenet of Stephen Covey, and that is to seek to understand before being understood. And so it gives me an opportunity to listen and to listen, I'd like to say with my inner ear, and to realize that, and someone said it earlier, that we are more alike than different, that we get our spiritual inspiration from the same divine source, and that, and because of that, because of the connectedness we have, and the realization that we are this one family, then we are able to, and I said it before, we're able to work towards harmony and unity, to build a world where, and I'm going to make it locally too, so world and also locally, where we see each other through the eyes of nobility, and we yearn to be with one another. It's not, do I have to do this? But there is a deep yearning to associate with members of different religions. So.
Perfect. Beautiful. Billy, I know you remember this, but I'm just going to say it for the group. I was at the movie Origin
Yes.
with Billy, and I'm not even a big crier, and it moved me at the end of the movie to so much tears that she just grabbed me and held me while I cried because of what we're missing when we have this idea that somebody's superior and somebody's inferior. And there's just this heart in me that wants everybody to see that everybody is deserving, everybody is worthy. And that movie just really pointed it out. And also when you talked about seek to understand rather than be understood. That's hard. That's the level of, willingness to surrender. And in our work, we call that social interest. Being aware of what we're causing one another is another way of looking at it. And that is what turns people off of doing crime and all kinds of things. So I I don't want to shorten this too much, but I know we're down to the last few minutes. What I'd like to do, I know, Mary, we didn't get to hear from you on that question. Well, we kind of did in the beginning, I guess. So what I'd like to do is just ask all of you to briefly, very briefly, based on the unity and blessings of being a member of the Interfaith Partnership of Greater St. Louis, what's a short phrase or sentence of advice or any kind of words of wisdom that you want to impart to our listeners that would help them to utilize their faith and their lives in the intention of creating win-win? Whoever would like to go ahead and jump in.
Yes, so through spiritual practice, friendship, and mindfulness meditation, embracing the awareness of oneness, we can live the shared values to all faiths, compassion, service, and mindfulness, and uplift both ourselves and others. When we act from this unity, everyone wins.
Oh, love that. Everyone wins.
Everyone wins.
Who wants to go next?
I'll just say, be more curious and form less assumptions.
Mm.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Who would like to go next?
I'm grateful that this panel is so courageous. They walk the walk and they talk the talk both. I mean, we have representation from Iran, India, Eastern European, and African descents here, and yet we all have this knowledge and belief that the mighty God is our God and loves each one of us and is in relentless pursuit of all of us. And we all want to be this big, happy family in heaven or the world after, whatever it is. And I just am so grateful for all of you to be here today. It gives me hope.
Thank you, Mary.
I
Go ahead, Margaret Mary.
would just like to say, I think that all of us in the Interfaith Partnership are the gold standard because all of us have offshoots of our religion who have spoken in the name of God or Allah or whatever and promote hatred. And I know, for an example, the Ku Klux Klan were made up of Catholics and Protestants who went to church on Sunday. So we have to know that there are people out there that are leading people astray. And all of our holy books say what we've been saying today. We are the children of God. We are united. We are all on a path of making ourselves closer to the divine and to each other, creating community. And I think we need the courage to stand up and let people know who are prejudiced against maybe some of our religions because of the people that have hijacked it. And so I think it's wonderful that we can articulate and help others see the truth. Because, like I said, the Ku Klux Klan were Christians. And so we have to admit that there's bad things going on. And yet, the path that we're on is to set the record straight and to walk that path and to help others to walk it with us and to do it arm in arm, like was said here. So we're really blessed with the friendship of each other and with Interfaith Partnership.
Thank you. Any other words of wisdom and advice? Go ahead.
Yes.
Keep it brief.
Yes, I will. What I have learned that I'm not thinking because my thinking is a limitation. It brings doubt to me. So when I feel it in my heart and I feel is a strong and I have a faith to it, I act on it. So I listen and I trust to what my heart says. And I would go because the heart brings the compassion no matter what. So I listen to my heart instead of thinking. So that would be something that I would like to suggest, advice.
Good. Good.
And just
Go ahead.
just very quickly, following the principles of the Baha'i faith and also recognizing the same theme in other faiths allows us to be channels of love.
Yeah.
To bring forth and promote ideas and actions that will help us create a peaceful, harmonious, loving society.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And just to add to that, Interfaith Partnership, we're rooted in community. If you're looking for a place or space where you feel like you're not being heard or you're not being respected, Interfaith Partnership will be the place and space for you to come where you will be accepted, where you will be heard, and where you will be listen to.
You know,
Absolutely.
I think this is one of the most profound episodes I've ever done. Separating faith from hate couldn't be more necessary than it is right now. I'm deeply and profoundly grateful to you individually for sharing yourselves today. I wish we had hours more. And I have all your information on the Transformation Network so people can look up all the different things about you and the different websites. And I just hope they all reach out to you because each one of you brings tremendous gift to the world. Thank you so much for separating faith from hate. You've been listening to When Everyone Wins, where we're shifting power over and under to power within and between. I'm Judy Ryan, your Transformation Talk Radio host. Tune in each second and fourth Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time to learn new concepts and tools and listen to conversations I have with thought leaders and change agents. You'll also see real-world applications of what I'm covering so that you experience the power of the concepts and tools I share. In each episode, I bring you my knowledge from decades in workplace culture transformation and leadership development as the founder and CEO of LifeWorks Systems. I invite you to call in with your unique stories and questions. The path to ensure that everyone wins depends on our ability as people to create a life we love and help others do the same. For more information, visit lifeworksystems.com.